Hello and welcome to another splashing episode of Talk to the Fish. Now, we've got a message from a viewer, Dusty Diver, who asks, when will you finally tackle decompression theory? Okay, but be ready. Today marks part one of our multi-part series on this brain-bending topic.
We will start today with the underwater environment with Boyle's law, the first piece of the decompression puzzle.
Excellent. I wet my neck and I'm okay. So, our objectives today are...
Today, let's explain how the pressure changes underwater and demonstrate the impact of Boyle's law on divers and their equipment. We'll connect these principles to why decompression theory exists in the first place, establishing the foundation for all our future discussion.
That sounds fascinating, Regis. Our viewers at home should grab their notepads or waterproof tablets for those watching from their bathtubs.
The underwater world captivates us with its beauty and wonder, but we must remember it's an environment fundamentally different from what we normally experience.
And the biggest difference comes down to one word that makes every diver's ears pop. Pressure. The kind that doesn't involve your mother-in-law asking when you'll get a real job.
Yes, pressure changes everything underwater. Every single rule, guideline, and procedure in diving decompression theory exists because of how pressure affects the gases we breathe.
Understanding pressure helps us grasp the why behind safe diving practices. So, think of it this way, folks. Imagine the air above us as a vast, invisible ocean.
That weight pressing down on you right now is atmospheric pressure. About 1 atmosphere or 1 bar at sea level. We are essentially living at the bottom of an air ocean, and our bodies have perfectly adapted to this pressure.
But the moment you submerge in water, everything changes.
When we submerge, we are adding a whole new ocean on top of that air ocean, but this one's much denser and heavier.
And that dense water layer is basically saying, hey air, time to get small.
Your body and equipment must deal with this dramatic change, which is where the magic of diving physics begins. Let's talk about this underwater pressure as what it truly is, the force that drives gas into our bodies.
Wait, Regis, you're saying pressure pushes gas into us? That sounds terrifying and fascinating at the same time. Is this why my wetsuit gets tighter at depth? Or am I just gaining weight from all these post-dive snacks?
Both, Jack. But let's focus on the pressure part. Water weighs substantially more than air. When we descend, we are essentially putting the weight of an entire water column on top of ourselves.
My spine feels compressed just thinking about it. We're deep into the Boyle's law now.
Let me break it down with some numbers that will make your fin flutter. At the surface, we experience 1 atmosphere of pressure, or 1 ATM from the air above us. At 10 meters, we are at 2 atmospheres. The pressure has doubled. At 20 meters, that's 3 ATM. It has tripled. At 30 meters...
Let me guess. We hit 4 atmospheres.
The pressure and volume are linked.
Whoa! So at my favorite dive depth of 30 meters, I'm feeling the equivalent pressure of 3 Honda Civics stacked on every square inch of my body, and yet I don't get squished like a sea cucumber in a hydraulic press. Our bodies are remarkable.
That's right, Jack. And here's where we connect this directly to decompression theory. This rapidly increasing pressure becomes a driving force that pushes the gases we breathe into our bodies, primarily nitrogen from the air.
So, more pressure equals more gas getting forced into our tissues. That sounds like trying to stuff a puffer. Trying to overfill a small container.
At depth, increased pressure forces gas into your tissues. The deeper you go, the more gas is absorbed. Upon ascent, this reverses. When you understand this process, you begin to grasp what decompression is all about, managing this gas as it enters and leaves your body.
Is that why we can't just zoom back to the surface after a deep dive? Because all that extra gas needs time to, what's the technical term, escape properly?
Yes. If you ascend too quickly, those gases come out too fast, forming actual bubbles in your blood and tissues. That's decompression sickness, or the bends, which can range from mildly uncomfortable to severely dangerous.
So the pressure pushes gas in when we descend, and we need to give it time to release when we ascend. This is starting to make my brain bubble with understanding. In a good way, not in a bend-inducing way.
I hope so.
Our episode is already ending. Any final thoughts for our viewers at home, Regis?
Remember, friends, pressure isn't just what you feel from your dive buddy when they want to explore that scary cave. is the fundamental force driving everything we do underwater.
That's all for today on Talk to the Fish. We've barely skimmed the surface of decompression theory today, equivalent to dipping our snorkels in this vast ocean of knowledge. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise, Regis. Next time, we'll tell the amazing story of a sardine who learned about decompression the hard way when he raced a dolphin to the surface. Until then, fellow divers, stay safe, keep your depth gauges closer than your dive buddies. And remember, always ascend more gradually than my career in television. Bubble bye for now.
Forget all the troubles and blues. Dive into the blue. Oh yes, talk to the fish.